not dramatic, but the lips are dramatic. So I'm gonna start off by filling in my brows. This is the spoolie I use, and I'm looking for my eyebrow brush, which is the MAC 208. Okay, so what I do first is I brush my brows. Oh, thank you, baby. Using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Chocolate. So just make sure you angle your brush the way that you want to actually brush on your pomade. See, there's one brow. Now I'm going to do the other one. To grab my moisturizer. I didn't want to put on moisturizer before my brows because I like to draw my shade in my brows just on my skin, no moisture on it, and because then it can get too slippery. So the moisturizer I'm using is Neutrogena Naturals Multivitamin Nourishing Moisturizer. It looks like this. And just grab a bit, and I just put it on my skin. So now our next step would be to use a primer for your lids. And I'm using MAC Soft Ochre. About that much. Not too much, not too little. And just prime my lids with it. By prime, I mean just like when you paint a wall, you want to prime your walls first so the paint can go on evenly. So it's the same concept for your lids. So now that we've primed our eyes, we are going to set the primer. I'm gonna take Anastasia's contour kit. This is the original one. And I'm gonna grab a large fluff brush by Sigma. That looks like this. And I'm just gonna take this shade. So just tap off the excess and just set your lids. From the Naked palette, I use Naked from the Naked palette. And I use the Sigma E40. And I just place this in my transition area right here. And just blended that in. And I did the same for the other eye. And then I grabbed a crease brush. Blending brush. It's an E25 by Sigma for my crease. And I grabbed the shade Buck. Tap off the excess, and I just started working this in my crease. Very softly. Like that. And then the other eye. Same way. So I grabbed the E40 again and blended this. Just blend it away. Well, not completely away, but just blend this. So for my lid, I want to use a MAC 242, which is a flat brush. And then I'm going to take a bronzy shimmery shade, Smog, right here. And I do want it to be intense. So I'm going to take MAC Fix Plus, which looks like this. I'm almost out of it, but yes. Or you can use eye drops, or maybe even put water in something like this, like a spray bottle, and then use that. So I'm gonna take this mirror, and this is what it looks like once you spray something on it, and that's gonna make your shimmery eyeshadow way more intense than if you just used it on its own. Look at how pretty that is. So pretty. Wow. Okay, so once I'm done with one eye, I like to just wipe it off on my pants. And I just grab some more of it. The reason I wipe it off is so I won't really get this shadow wet, the one in the palette, because then you would have a hard time getting some off of it when you need to use it again. So I'm doing the same for the other eye. So we now have our lid cutter, and I'm taking the same crease brush again, the Sigma E25, just to blend the top of it. If you didn't blend the top of it, it would kind of look like you cut your crease. It just made a really sharp line in your crease, and I just want it to look very blended today. I'm not sure if I want to do eyeliner. Okay, let's do eyeliner. So I'm going to use Kat Von D's Tattoo Liner and Trooper. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit and just start at the end. Just draw a line like that and then bring it in. I will usually touch it up at the end, but once you have like a base, you know, then you can start working your way towards the inside. So now I finished my eyeliner, so now I'm going to continue with my brow bone highlight, which I already applied a little bit on here. I'm using the shade Virgin for my brow bone highlight, and for my eyeliner I used ink blot number 77. So I just apply it more heavily on the outside of on the edge of my brow, on the end, and I go a little bit lighter over here. And to blend this, you just take your blending brush and blend it in with your transition shade. I'm going to take a mascara. I'm using L'Oreal's Voluminous Original in the shade Black is Black. This mascara I like better when it's been some time that I've been using it, like when the formula gets more dry, because then it gets your lashes longer than at the beginning. Longer than when it's brand new. Now we can put on our foundation. Taking my beauty blender, it used to be the red one, but it faded, now it's like orange. And I'm taking my Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus in the shade number 40. And I do my foundation concealer before my under eyes, you know. Like if I don't like putting on concealer after I've already done my lower lash line, because I feel like if I do this while I have shadow down here, like it's gonna mess with the shadow I put down there, or it's either gonna have like a harsh line here, you know what I mean? And always blend foundation down your neck. Felt like I had to sneeze. How are y'all? I've been doing good. And I noticed I had 2 new subscribers, so hi to y'all. Just adding more foundation. Yesterday I hit my forehead here and it still hurts. So now that we have foundation on, I'm going to conceal. And the concealer I've been using is Maybelline's Instant Age Rewind in the shade Neutralizer. Don't know if y'all can see that. But So I like to blend my concealer with my finger first because I can just feel it out. Like I can feel how even it's going on. And I can get it into these hard to reach spots easier than with a beauty blender. But then I use my beauty blender and it's all ripped up. I need to get a new one. And so once you do that, you take a setting powder. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And now I'm going to take my Real Techniques sponge because the tip is just better on this one. Since my beauty blender is actually ripped on the part of the tip. So I just put some here. And with the damp sponge, the beauty blender was also damp when I applied concealer. And you just take some powder to set your under eye. Now, since I took a little while to put powder on the sponge, the concealer was already settling in my fine lines. So just take your sponge and blend that out. So now I'm taking powder, lots of powder, and I'm baking my under eye. So, like that. I don't put extra, I just leave it like that. And then after a while, you just grab any brush. I like to grab a dual fiber brush, and you just wipe it off. But I'm going to wait a bit for that. So I'm going to conceal my other eye and then set that one. So now's the time that we'll take the dual fiber brush and just wipe off any excess. It wasn't too much powder. But you just want to wipe off whatever didn't melt into your skin. So I'm taking the same brush and I'm setting the rest of my face. If you still have some concealer on your sponge, this is what I do. I just add it to the center of my forehead and a little bit here. And that's it. So now I'm taking the dual fiber brush and grabbing the Laura Mercier powder, just dusting it over this area, which is where I will be bronzing and contouring. Just so your bronzer won't go on streaky. Taking some more. And I just go in circular motions. I'm taking some and going along the center of my forehead. If you want to go over your brows, that's kind of a good idea, just to set the pomade if you did use a pomade or a pencil. If you use the powder, it's not really necessary. So let me just add some on the perimeters of my forehead because that's where I will also be bronzing. Okay. I'm going to take from the contour kit, I'm going to bronze with this shade here, which is the shade Java. So usually I take this kabuki brush. It's an Eco Tools kabuki. And just a little bit because these contour powders are very pigmented. So I just first go along top of my forehead. Very pigmented. If this looks too strong, that's because it is very strong. But I'm trying to go softer in there. Yes, this one, Java. So just a little bit will do. I like this brush because it's really soft. Very soft. So it's a good applicator for your bronzer. So it can go on very smoothly as long as you keep blending it in. Okay, you can always go over your bronzer with your loose powder to make it look less strong if you went too heavy like I did. So I'm taking a Sigma F05 brush and I'm going to contour using the shade in the middle, which I believe is Fawn. Yes, it's Fawn by Anastasia Beverly Hills. So I'm just taking some of that. Now this one, you can dip your brush in there a little more. Looks like that. Just tap off the excess. And I like to pull my hair back. Just kind of make that face so you can see where you see the line. Your contour line. And from that line, just blend upwards. Like this. And I took my kabuki brush and I grabbed the shade Java, which is the shade I used around the perimeters of my forehead, which is this one. And I just bronzed right on top of my contour. To highlight, I grabbed Becca's Opal. This is the packaging and this is what it looks like. And I just grabbed the highlight, smiled, ran it across on top of my cheekbones, and brought it up to my temples. So now I'm going to take a little flat brush, it's kind of fluffy, and I'm taking my Naked palette again, and I'm taking the shade Naked. Sorry if I'm blinding y'all. And I'm just putting it under my eye. But I'm going to take the shade Buck, my crease shade, and I'm going to put that on the edges of my eyes. On the outside parts. Just like that. Now, to highlight my inner corners, I am taking the shade Virgin here, which is my brow bone highlight shade. And I'm just going to put this in my inner corners. First, I like to start on the bottom here. And then bring it to the top. Twisting my brush vertically. So, okay, I got the wrong one. Taking the shade Virgin and tapping off the excess, starting with my brush horizontally and then twisting it vertically. Like this. Now you can actually grab your mascara and do your lower lash line mascara. Just grabbing the same Naked palette. So, I'm just going to take the lipstick. This is MAC's Stone. It's a matte. So this is the final look, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed watching my video. Please give my video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching.